Welcome to our journey through the haunted history of Massachusetts. A state rich in colonial heritage and shrouded in mystery, Massachusetts is home to some of the most chilling and spine-tingling places in the country. From eerie legends to tragic pasts, each location we'll explore today holds its own dark secrets, where restless spirits are said to wander and ghostly apparitions appear when you least expect them. So, settle in and prepare yourself as we dive into the top creepy locations in Massachusetts. Before we enter the realm of the unknown, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out as we uncover the mysteries of creepy places. Remember to like, share, and comment below with your own tales of the supernatural. Number 5. Spidergate Cemetery. Officially known as Friends Cemetery, is an old Quaker burial ground located in Leicester, Massachusetts. The cemetery dates back to the early 1700s and is still an active burial site today. Despite its serene setting, Spidergate is surrounded by dark legends and chilling accounts that have earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the state. Despite its dark legends, Spidergate Cemetery also has a history rooted in the peaceful Quaker faith. The cemetery was established by the Society of Friends, a religious group known for its pacifism and simplicity. The oldest gravestones date back to the 1700s, and many of the inscriptions reflect the Quakers' belief in equality and humility. This stark contrast between the cemetery's tranquil origins and its current reputation adds another layer of intrigue to the site. The cemetery's ominous nickname, Spidergates, is derived from the distinctive wrought iron gates at its entrance. These gates, with their intricate web-like design, resemble a spider's web, adding to the eerie aura of the place. One of the most popular legends associated with Spidergates is the myth of the 8 Gates of Hell. According to local folklore, the cemetery contains 8 separate gates, and if someone were to pass through all 8, they would enter the underworld. However, only the front gate is visible today, leaving the other 7 as a mystery. Some believe these gates are metaphorical, representing spiritual barriers, while others claim they are hidden throughout the cemetery, waiting to be discovered. As we move deeper into the cemetery, we encounter another chilling feature, the infamous hanging tree. According to legend, this old tree was the site of a self-exit in the 1940s when a local teenager took his own life by hanging. Since then, visitors have reported hearing disembodied whispers and footsteps around the tree, as well as a sense of profound sadness and unease. Beyond the graves and the hanging tree lies another unsettling feature, the altar in the woods. This stone structure, located in a secluded area of the cemetery, has fueled many theories and rumors. Some say it was used for secret Quaker rituals, while others believe it has been the site of more sinister practices, including occult rituals and sacrifices. Sightings of ghostly apparitions, unexplained lights, and eerie sounds are common, especially after dark. Some visitors have claimed to see shadowy figures moving among the trees, or even standing near the graves. Others report feeling an inexplicable chill, as though being watched by unseen eyes. Whether you believe in the paranormal, or are simply intrigued by the unknown, this cemetery offers a glimpse into the darker side of Massachusetts history. Number 4. The Lizzy Bordon House. The Lizzy Bordon House, located at 232nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts, is an unassuming 2.5-story Greek revival home. But what happened inside this house on August 4, 1892, would forever etch its place in the annals of American crime history. It was here that Andrew Bordon and his wife, Abby Bordon, were found brutally slain, their skulls crushed by a hatchet. On that fateful morning, Andrew Bordon, a wealthy but frugal businessman, was found lying on the sofa in the sitting room, his face almost unrecognizable from the vicious blows inflicted upon him. Upstairs, Abby Bordon was discovered face down in the guest bedroom. The brutality of the attacks shocked the nation, and the small town of Fall River was gripped by fear and speculation. Attention quickly turned to Andrew's 32-year-old daughter, Lizzy Bordon, who lived in the house with her father, stepmother, and sister, Emma. Lizzie's inconsistent statements and strange behavior after the murders raised suspicions. She was seen as the prime suspect, especially since she stood to inherit her father's considerable wealth. Lizzy was arrested and charged with the murders, but despite the circumstantial evidence against her, she was acquitted in one of the most sensational trials of the 19th century. The jury's decision shocked the public, and the case remains unsolved to this day, leaving many to wonder. Did Lizzy Bordon get away with murder? The Lizzy Bordon house has since become a hotspot for paranormal activity. Guests and staff alike have reported strange occurrences, from doors opening and closing on their own, to disembodied voices and shadowy apparitions. Some claim to have seen a figure resembling Lizzy herself, wandering the halls at night. Others report the sensation of being watched or touched by unseen hands. The sitting room, where Andrew Bordon was found, often feels unusually cold, and some visitors have reported feeling an oppressive force, as if something unseen is pushing down on them. In the guest bedroom, where Abby Bordon was murdered, some have captured strange photos of orbs and shadows, while others have heard a woman's voice crying out or whispering their names. The basement of the Lizzy Bordon house is another area where paranormal activity is frequently reported. It's a dark, claustrophobic space filled with old relics and remnants of the past. Many visitors have experienced feelings of dread and unease while in the basement, with some claiming to see ghostly figures lurking in the shadows. Today, the Lizzy Bordon house operates as a bed and breakfast, where guests can stay overnight in one of the murder rooms or take a guided tour to learn more about the house's dark history. Number 3. The Old Salem Jail. Constructed in 1813, the Old Salem Jail, more formally known as the Essex County Correctional Institute, was built to replace the original jail that held prisoners during the Salem witch trials. The new facility was designed to house criminals of all kinds, from petty thieves to the most dangerous offenders. For nearly 150 years, the jail was known for its harsh conditions, overcrowding, and poor sanitation. Inmates often suffered from malnutrition and disease, making it a place of misery and despair. Throughout its history, the Old Salem Jail housed many infamous criminals, including murderers and other dangerous felons. The jail's most notorious moment came in 1834, when it witnessed a violent riot sparked by prisoners protesting their inhumane conditions. Several inmates died during the riot, and their restless spirits are said to still haunt the site today. Former jailers, guards, and even visitors have reported strange occurrences, including phantom footsteps, mysterious cold spots, and disembodied voices. Some have claimed to see ghostly apparitions of former prisoners wandering the corridors, still shackled in their chains. One of the most famous ghost stories linked to the Old Salem Jail involves the spirit of Giles Corey, a man executed during the Salem witch trials. In 1692, Giles Corey, an elderly man in his 80s, was accused of witchcraft. He denied the charges, but during that time, refusal to confess often equaled guilt. Corey chose neither to plead guilty nor declare his innocence, preventing his trial from proceeding. As a result, the judge subjected him to pressing, a brutal form of execution where Corey was slowly crushed to death by heavy stones. Though Corey was never imprisoned in the Old Salem Jail, his ghost is said to haunt the area due to its proximity to where he was executed. The Old Salem Jail officially closed its doors in 1991, deemed unfit for modern use due to its age and deteriorating condition. The building sat abandoned for nearly 2 decades, during which time it became a magnet for thrill seekers and ghost hunters. In 2009, the site underwent a dramatic transformation into a mixed-use property featuring apartments, a restaurant, and a museum. Despite its new lease on life, the eerie stories and ghostly legends remain. Even after its renovation, reports of paranormal activity have continued at the Old Salem Jail. Residents and visitors have reported strange noises, flickering lights, and unsettling feelings of being watched. The restaurant staff has shared stories of utensils moving on their own, and patrons have reported ghostly figures appearing and disappearing in the blink of an eye. It seems the spirits of the jail's dark past refuse to leave, haunting the site to this day. Number 2. Hak Tunnel. Construction of the Hak Tunnel began in 1851 and took nearly 25 years to complete, becoming one of the longest tunnels in North America at over 4.75 miles. The goal was to connect the industrial regions of western Massachusetts with the bustling markets of New York and Boston by cutting through the Hoosac Mountain. However, the project was fraught with difficulties from the start, plagued by financial problems, engineering challenges, and, most ominously, an alarming number of fatalities. It wasn't long before the Hoosac Tunnel earned its grisly nickname, the Bloody Pit. The tunnel injured or claimed the lives of nearly 200 workers due to a series of accidents, explosions, and collapses during its construction. The most tragic incident occurred at the central shaft on October 17, 1867. A massive explosion, likely caused by a gas buildup, ignited a fire in the shaft, which quickly filled with water and trapped 13 miners underground. Despite valiant rescue efforts, all 13 men perished. Witnesses at the time reported hearing agonizing screams and cries for help, echoing through the mountain for days after the explosion, long after the miners were presumed dead. Almost immediately after these tragedies, eerie stories began to emerge. Workers reported hearing ghostly voices and footsteps echoing through the dark, damp tunnel. Some claimed to see the apparitions of the deceased miners, their spectral forms illuminated by ghostly lanterns. Despite its haunted reputation, the Hak Tunnel is still an active railway line used by freight trains. This adds an extra element of danger for those who dare to explore its depths. Trespassing on the tracks is illegal and extremely dangerous, and many paranormal investigators have had close encounters with passing trains while attempting to capture evidence of the supernatural. Number 1. Danvers State Mental Hospital, once known as the Hospital on the Hill. Danvers State Mental Hospital, perched ominously atop Hathorn Hill, is one of the most infamous psychiatric institutions in American history. Opening its doors in 1878, Danvers was designed under the Kirkbride Plan, a progressive method intended to provide a more humane approach to mental health care. However, by the mid-20th century, it became a symbol of institutional failure and neglect. Originally built to house 450 patients, the hospital's population exploded to over 2,000 by the 1920s, leading to severe overcrowding. The once grand architecture, with its Victorian Gothic spires, soon became the backdrop for horrific treatments like electroshock therapy, lobotomies, and isolation. The combination of underfunding and inadequate staffing turned Danvers into a nightmarish place, with stories of abuse, patient mistreatment, and bizarre experimental treatments leaking out. Danvers is also believed to be the birthplace of the prefrontal lobotomy in the United States, pioneered by Dr. Walter Freeman in the 1940s. This procedure, now largely discredited, left many patients in a vegetative state and became a dark chapter in psychiatric care. Adding to its eerie legacy, Danvers sits in the same town once home to the infamous Salem witch trials of 1692. In fact, Danvers was originally known as Salem Village. Some even believe that the hospital was cursed by the dark energy of the area. Reports of self-deletion, violent outbursts, and mysterious deaths were common. Some patients who entered Danvers never left, their lives ending behind its cold stone walls. It's said that the spirits of these tormented souls remain trapped, forever reliving their anguish. The hospital's reputation for death and despair earned it the nickname, the birthplace of the prefrontal lobotomy, a grim reminder of its notorious past. The hospital's dark history has fueled countless tales of hauntings. Former staff, visitors, and paranormal investigators have reported hearing disembodied voices, screams, and footsteps echoing through the abandoned halls. Shadowy figures are often seen moving in the distance, only to vanish upon approach. The most chilling accounts include encounters with full-bodied apparitions of former patients, still dressed in their hospital gowns, who seem to relive their suffering in endless loops. The hospital was shut down in 1992 and demolished in 2007 to make way for a residential development. But the grim legacy of Danvers lives on in ghost stories, local lore, and pop culture. Most notably, it inspired H.P. Lovecraft's Arkham Asylum in his stories and influenced the 2001 horror film Session 9. Despite this, the legends and ghost stories persist, and those who visit the site today claim they can still feel the presence of the hospital's dark past. Some locals believe that disturbing the grounds has only awakened the spirits that lie dormant, leading to reports of paranormal activity in the new apartments built on the site. As we conclude our eerie journey through the top creepy places in Massachusetts, it's clear that the state's dark past has left an indelible mark on its landscapes. Whether you're a believer in the supernatural or simply intrigued by the state's dark past, these places offer more than just ghost stories. They are a glimpse into the unknown, where history and the paranormal collide. This has been Tyler. Thanks for joining me on this chilling exploration of Massachusetts and its creepiest places. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more haunted histories and chilling tales. Share your thoughts or any ghostly experiences in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and stay creepy. Bye for now.